I mean, we got to ask, what's the weirdest thing you've had to pull out of somebody's ass?
So I didn't pull it out. As an EMT, I try really hard to put anything or take anything out.
Don't sneeze, you'll break the light bulb. Like, what happened?
When I do these rants, they're serious about how it happened. So like, it's always like some stupid 3 o'clock in the morning, just junk that happens. And what ended up happening was it was a 3 o'clock in the morning call. And we get dispatched for a 19-year-old male who has an injury to the, an impaled object injury to the abdomen. So I'm like, oh, this is great. This guy this guy fell on a pair of scissors, fell on a knife, cooking down. I'm like, what? This could be anything. We get over there and he's just sitting there on his couch, kind of, pardon the pun, but cocked to one side. And he's just looking at me with these doe eyes. I'm like, hey, buddy, my name's Anthony. What's going on? I'm like, you're not bleeding? What's going on? He just hands me a Suave bottle. From a Suave shampoo bottle, and I'm just like, why doesn't it have a lid on it? Why doesn't it have a lid on it? And he's just looking at me and like, understood. Okay, we're gonna get through this. All right. Yeah. So I asked him how it happened. He's like, I was in the shower. I sat down. He's like, I sat down on it and I was trying to have some fun and. Thing came off and now it's sealed like a time lock at the bank and it's not coming out. So I was like, well, we're in this now.
Was this like one of the pump top lotion bottles? Is this like almost like a fish hook situation?
Straight up screw top Suave bottle. Yeah, so
when the top just went boop.
Yeah, the top just unscrewed and just and that was it. So we ended up transporting him, and with the burden of knowledge of how that's coming out, it's not a fun image. It's exactly like just what you think it is. They're going to spread it and they're going to go in there and they're going to get it. So
get the forceps out.
Yeah, exactly right. You may as well just get like the jaws of life.
I feel like there's a basic, like a real basic level IQ test. It's like if you're going to drill something into your ass, absolutely prerequisite is to make sure there's no detachable parts.
One would think.
Like this, so that's like kind of like, are you below or above 100 IQ? It's like below, Suave bottle, cap comes off of my colon. All right, now
it's a bad day.
All right, yeah,
it's a bad day had by all.
It's like
my erector set broke inside.
Like 20 minutes before that, he sees a BuzzFeed article about prostate massage, and he's like, this could be something.
I fell on it.
I don't have a dildo. I could make one out of Legos.
Maybe the shampoo bottle with a very easily removable cap will work.
Exactly. I fell on it. Yeah, everybody falls on a 3-foot statue of Barbara Streisand in their bathroom. That's just how it works.
Next thing you know, you sneeze and Anthony's standing over you like this.
How many times have you heard when in that situation where like I fell?
Yeah, that's the answer. It's 95% of the time.
I fell and the shampoo bottle untwisted itself and wound up in my ass.
The big answer you'll get is, I didn't expect that to happen. And I just want to sit there. And it's one of those things. Like the new thing on the internet is, we listen, we don't judge, right? But my answer to them is just always, what did you think was going to happen? Like, I just want to know, how did you think this was going to go?
Oh, I judge.
Looking at him with those big doe eyes like, he's going to talk about me on TikTok.
Yeah, you're probably at that point now. Comment there.
Can I get a selfie?
What? I'm a huge fan. This is really
This is so sorry to listen.
Did you do this because you know I'd show up?
This is why I say don't meet me like this. I literally do not want to meet you like this.
Yikes, dude.
How long have you been doing TikTok?
TikTok, I think I started in like 2021. And I was just making like, it's just like everybody else starts out, just making goofy stuff to pass the time, have a good time, and just put stuff out there that made me laugh. If it didn't make somebody else laugh, it made me laugh, and that was something. And then one day I made a video, and it was just this weird, like, I guess the best way to describe it's like this serpentine-looking kinetic thing that was going like this, and I was like, that is phallic. I'm just like, I don't know. So the whole video was just this serpentine thing going, and I just cut right to me just real fast, and it was like a hard zoom, and I was just like, no. And that just detonated. One of my friends sent me a message, and they were like, you need to go on your TikTok right now because that is exploding. And I'm sitting there like, okay, well, my previous video hit like 16 people. So I guess the new one's probably going to hit like 100 people. It's exploding. So I looked at it, and it was like 300,000 after like 3 hours.
What was the phallic thing? What are we talking about?
It was like this weird, like gold-colored kinetic spiraled sculpture that was just doing this.
That was in someone's ass?
No. It was just sitting on a table. It's like,
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I haven't seen that thing in a long time, so who knows where it ended up.
In great places.
Like after you tell somebody no so many times, it's like, but my body's telling me yes.
So how long have you been an EMT?
So I've officially been an EMT for just a little over 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a relatively newer EMT.
What did you do before that?
I have done everything under the surface. I was a range safety officer at a firearms range. I was in the restaurant business for 10, 11 years. I was a food manager for the Job Corps program. If anybody's familiar with the Job Corps program, which is a really cool program the government does for underprivileged or second or third chance individuals. It's a really good program, and I ended up being the food manager over there. Just everything under the sun. I installed pools, just everything. And then finally, I got out of the restaurant business, got out of the Job Corps business, and decided I needed to do something a little bit more of value, at least in my own mind, something a little more of value. And my mom, my mom always had this sign that was above our couch. And not that my mom's a huge Muhammad Ali fan, so I have no idea why this was even there, but I guess it's something that she believed in. It just said, "Service to others is the rent that we pay for our room here on earth." And it's something that just always stuck with me. It's something that I put on whenever anybody would ask me for what my favorite quote is. It was always that. So when I finally settled in on what I thought I wanted to do, I messaged one of my friends. I'm like, "Hey, how do I get involved in EMS? Like, it's something I really think I want to do, but it seems like such a difficult thing to get involved in." And he's like, "Go down to the department and say hi." And I'm like, "Oh, well, you run a hard bargain there, but I think you can do that." So,
Please God, we need warm bodies in our
they're looking for people. Yeah.
Like, and that was pretty much it. I went down there and I probated for about 6 or 7 months, and they're like, "Do you want to go to EMT school? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel confident?" I'm like, "I feel good." My trainers were amazing. And I went to EMT school, and then as soon as EMT school started, people started getting coffee sneezies, and 2 weeks later, COVID hit. So I became an EMT right in the heart of COVID. They shut school down. It became remote. It took me twice as long just to get through school because I couldn't do practicals. We couldn't meet in person to do hands-on stuff. So I finished EMT school book-wise and test-wise, but then I had to go back and do all the hands-on physical stuff and pass that, which went well. And then you still have to take the national. In New Jersey, we take a national test in order to get your New Jersey EMT certification. So went ahead and I had to sit that. That was 2 weeks later, so I finally passed that. And after that, I was done. And then that's when the crazy stuff started happening. I was still working at the gun range. And in my first week of being an EMT, somebody decided that they needed to take a .357 Magnum and take it to this underneath their chin, and he survived that. We were able to get him. Yeah, I was.
One of your first calls.
It was. I wasn't even. It wasn't even in my town. I happened to be on the retail desk, and the way the place looks, you have the retail desk. There's an area where people come in and pay for their membership or their range time and all that stuff. And just on the opposite side, there's you got the glass wall, and there's what was the 25-yard range, the main range.
He showed up to the range and did it?
Exactly right, he did.
So is this like a range-owned gun?
This was a range-owned gun. Yeah. And we have special rules.
Damn.
We had special rules, like if you're not allowed to go in there and rent a firearm by yourself. That was a main rule. And he wasn't by himself. He was with his girlfriend. And he was basically, it was insane. So I was in the retail counter.
Babe, do I have the date for you?
We have these, we have earpieces in so we can communicate with everybody. And
Jesus Christ.
all you see is there's protocol in case something bad happens, right? So you see I just see the range starting to clear out. The privacy curtains just get cut down. I'm just like, and there was a guy next to me who was already an EMT for a little while, just so happened, and he just started. Yeah, just started at the range. I've been at the range for about a year at that point.
When you say EMT, like EMTB, or paramedic?
No, EMTB. We were both EMTBs.
What is B?
B is basic, intermediate, and paramedic is the top level.
So it's like,
so
the level of trauma you can respond to.
The level of,
the level of like your depth of protocol and different things that you can do. Okay. So I looked and I see the curtains cutting, and he has no idea what's going on because he's literally brand new. And I just tapped him. I'm like, we got to go. We jumped the counter, which is glass, so it was probably not the smartest thing. And we run into the range while everybody's running out, and I look down, and one of the main owners of the building at that time was holding this guy, and he basically, when we watched the video back, he was doing what was called fly fishing. So he was taking the gun and go, sorry about that. He would take the gun and go, boom, boom, type of stuff like that, and finally you just see him look and just boom. And
Like it was an accident?
Oh, it was not an accident. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
But he
I
was
like,
trying
well,
to like, oh, I'm gonna
He was
trick
doing-
it until this is what I'm doing. So when I go like this,
Exactly.
no one can
And what he
catch
did was
on.
he raised his head like this when he did it. So instead of it going
So
like
it missed
this,
his brain.
it went out like this and just took out like the side of it. It was a bad scene. It was really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like I said, I'm a week into this. This is like the level of trauma that I had seen before. That was like little Johnny with the skin knee, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And we basically just gathered him up. We did the best that we could to stop the bleed, and just did everything that we were supposed to do. The town EMS showed up, dumped him on the stretcher. We cooked it and booked it. The other guy and myself, we took the ride, and we went over to one of the two really good level 1 trauma centers in Jersey, and we got him there. I was actually able to get almost conversation out of him. I asked him if he had allergies. He was like, but we got stuff out of him, and then the
Got allergies? Lead?
Lead.
the guy, and then the medics were
My
just
eyes
like,
sting a little bit. What's going on?
and you just see the medic, pushed a little plunger, and that was it. The kid took hold, and that was it. Knocked him out, and then we got to the center. Now to paint a picture for you, I'm wearing a red RSO shirt and khaki pants. By the time I left, I was wearing a red khaki shirt or a red shirt and red pants. So we get back in there now. Everybody's back at the range, and the range is obviously shut down. The mayor's there. It's freaking nuts. And we walk back in. You know that slow-mo vision of like the astronauts walking down the gangway to go to. That's what it
Like
felt
the
like.
hero shot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We walk in and just eyes just panning. I'm like, okay, you don't have to look at me like this. That's cool. And we go into the. I guess it's sort of like a classroom where all the employees were gathered, and it turns out that one of the guys who works there, his girlfriend is a crisis counselor. So we walk in, now everybody had already been in there, we're sitting there, we walk in, we get in the back, and she goes, hey, you guys are the ones that went to the hospital, right? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, she's like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Like, yeah, no, we're good, man. That was wild. We're just like, we can handle that. It's
Yeah.
fine. If you can handle that, you can handle anything.
Jumping into the new profession head first.
That's
as
it,
they
man.
say, huh?
There was no leeway. It was just jump on in.
is crazy.
Yeah, you would like maybe like a broken arm.
Man, that would have been
something.
stellar.